We're going to work on the skill setting. Setting is really important in volleyball, and it's sometimes a little challenging for younger students, but you can still work on the techniques, and Mike's going to go over the technique we use for setting.
Okay, so just like we've done with the forearm pass, we're always going to be in a ready position, nice and low. Now setting is very important that we move, just because if the ball is not directly on top of your forehead, you're not going to probably do the correct set. So we always want to maintain wherever the ball goes. So what I like to do before I set is just be ready to toss the ball, and every time we locate it, it should be right where our forehead is. So if you play soccer, I know you're not supposed to necessarily head the ball. Where you head the ball, that's where you make contact. For those of you that play baseball, same thing, and when a fly ball is up, you're going to locate that ball until it's directly on your forehead.
Hey, you know what's great? Sometimes I actually miss my hands, I hit my head, and the set comes off good. So hey, have your head in the right position, it might help out.
The head still counts. So once we're in a ready position, of course we're going to have the ball. When I toss the ball, my hands are going to be facing up. I'm going to be making a diamond with my hands. We're using our finger pads, okay, to pass. We're not using, of course, our palms. If you hit your palms at all, the ball is going to stick or it might go in one direction. But when we're setting, please remember to keep your elbows bent. If your elbows are not bent and you try to set, the ball is not going to go as high, okay? So we want to make sure we're loaded like a spring. And then when the ball gets to that spot, we're going to fall through. And then usually, since we're pushing, we're going to be pushing out towards whoever we're setting to. It can be a hitter, but since we're doing this by ourselves, you can push it straight up if you want. You just don't want to have back rotation or backspin on the ball.
Again, hey, you start in a ready position. You actually don't know whether you're going to be able to set the ball above your hand with your hands. So you might actually have to bump set the ball. But be prepared. That's why you want to be in a ready position. You want to be ready to move and move to that ball quick. Try to get it set above your head. Okay, like you said, get your chicken wings out there. And you want to lift the ball again using a lot of your legs. As your legs lift up, your arms are going to extend also, and your hands and pads are going to poof that ball up in the air. And you're going to have a nice high set so your hitter can smack that ball. In other words, spike it.
And just like any sport, just make sure your body's squared to wherever you're facing. If you're facing towards, we'll say, the stage over here, the ball is going to go that way. So if you want to face towards where the camera is, I got to square my feet towards our target or the camera.
And one other thing, if you hear a nice quiet sound off the hands, you know you're doing it right. If you hear a slappy sound, it means you got to work on getting the ball in the pads of the fingers and hands up there, and you're not contacting with the palms. So here's the versus that versus that. Don't want to hear the slap sound.
Just remember, elbows out, and then the less rotation on the ball, the better. The more rotation typically leads to what's called a double. That's where you touch the ball once and then twice. Okay?
Hey, setting's a real challenge. Takes a lot of practice and effort, so you got to work on this skill a lot to really perfect it.